Hey Vikings, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to talk about meat shields. Now, I'm not going to claim that I'm an expert at meat shields because I'm not, and you might think this is totally different than the way you do things, but that's also good because you can also put a comment on how you do things, and you never know, we might find the best way possible to do meat shields. But the reason I'm going to talk about this is somebody did message asking if I could do, asking about meat shields. So I replied, and then I thought, you know what, why not make a video? Let's see what we can do out of this. So meat shields, what are meat shields? Well, meat shields are your higher amount of lower tier troops. So as you can see here, this is what I've got at the moment. I'm not prepared for Jot or Asgard or anything like that, but this is what I've got at the moment. So you could just take a quick glance. So in the past I have done where you can just use T4. However, having a high amount of T4 and then people attack you and they see you got T4, they're going to try their best to get your T4 down because there's T4 events. So yes, you could just use T4, but you would need crazy numbers. And for me, having just tier 4 troops as a meat shield pushes up your influence more than it would be to have lower tiers as well. So this is how I've started to do things. This, you can get a bit of an example here. Now, as I said, the numbers are not quite right. So T1, I don't bother with them. They're just a waste of time for me. T2, I have used quite a lot of tier 2 in the past. However, this time I'm starting to let my T2 get killed off slowly. I mean, I still will keep a little bit because I like to test people's town with T2. So I always try and keep a little bit, but that's not really my meat shield. Tier 3, however, meat shield. And tier 4 is a meat shield. T5, not really. T6, no. T7 and T8 are just whatever you've got, basically. So I basically is tier 3 and tier 4. Now, I would have equal amounts. As you can see here, I've got 5.9 and 5.4. As I said, I've not trained or anything like that. This is just what I've got. I feel this at the moment is okay for like your CVCs and, well, probably your kingdom events. It depends what kingdom you're in. So this would be okay. This would keep you safe. But obviously, against in Jot, when you've got the risk of someone like Ret or Blood or whoever attacking you in the top clans, you will want more than that. So this is good to keep your influence down when you need to keep it down. But what I do in Jot, it all varies. Like with me, I put up these amounts to like 10 billion each, or I could go a little bit more if I wanted. Now, the reason I go to a high amount is because, number one, it's going to keep me safe. If people attack, they're gonna need to send a hell of a lot to actually succeed. But obviously, when you have the higher amount, it's gonna push your influence up. So you're gonna need to lose some of it. So with my cases, when I've got that crazy amount, when it comes towards the end of Jot and I know I need to get my influence down, I start throwing T4s and T3s at people, scouts and troops. So that's my way of doing it. Obviously everybody else would probably do it different. You might have done it the way I've done it before, where you have T1, T2, T3 and T4 as a meat shield. Crazy amounts. But I've noticed that when you do T1 and T2, I know that like when I attack people, if they've got T1 or T2, I think, oh, this is crap. Even when I hit somebody with T3, I think, why? I'm not going to bother. You've got the same type of meat shield as me. It's going to be hard to get through. Now, when somebody's got just T4, I will attack because there's T4 events. So that's what you got to think about. You could just be T4 and make yourself look presentable to big clans and other people. But if you're strong and somebody does a test against you, they're not actually going to hit you to try and kill your T4 because you're strong. So you're in that bit of a dilemma there. So it all depends on how you play it. But this is, like I said, this is the setup I have. But I would like to know what setup you use when, for your meat shields for when defending in Jot and places like that. I'm curious to see if you're all very similar to the way I do it, or do you still do T1s and T2s? I mean, everybody is different at the end of the day, but it is worth finding out how everybody does it. You never know. There might be T5s might be the best wall you can have for all we know. I don't use T5 because I have T5. I've got a billion of them. Same with T6. I usually have a billion T6, but I don't necessarily use them. I might test people with them and maybe throw attacks with them, but as a meat shield, I don't use those as a meat shield. Number one, because they're more expensive to train. Main reason. So, yeah, guys, that is it for this video. I hope you like it. Leave a comment, as I said. Hit that like button as well while you're there, and hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. But yeah, guys, I'll see you all in the next video, whenever that will be. See ya.